Welcome to the Channel for Grace. Gobind will be live shortly. Book a tarot or astrology reading on our website, channelforgrace.guru, and check out our latest programs and classes. Please give us a share and a like, and we hope you enjoy the broadcast. Welcome to the Channel for Grace. Gobind will be live shortly. Book a tarot or astrology reading on our website, channelforgrace.guru, and check out our latest programs and classes. Please give us a share and a like, and we hope you enjoy the broadcast. Welcome to the Channel for Grace. Gobind will be live shortly. Book a tarot or astrology reading on our website, channelforgrace.guru, and check out our latest programs and classes. Please give us a share and a like, and we hope you enjoy the broadcast. Satnam, welcome back to the channel. My name is Gobind, and this is your Channel for Grace. Thank you guys so much for being here live, and thank you to those of you that are watching the replay. Today we are going to cover the astrology of the full moon in Capricorn that is happening on July 3rd, and everything that has to do with this moon, what it means, and what are some of the details of it, including the gene key, Sabian symbol, and Chandra symbol of the moon. And by looking at all of these different aspects, we get a really well-rounded symbolic picture of how this moon is going to be affecting us. So welcome in Raven, welcome Tim, welcome Dawn. Miss you guys too. Hello Lucida, welcome in. Alejandra, welcome. Raessa, thank you guys for being here. Yes, it's been a while. I literally got back today at like 12:30. It took me 2 days to get back because I made a stop in Sedona last night. And on my way home, I drove all the way from LA to Sedona. And then today I drove from Sedona to Flagstaff. And the reason I broke the trip up was because I needed to do grocery shopping and stuff today on my way home. And there was literally no way to do it all in one day. Like I was not going to be able to do it. And then last night, it was crazy because I couldn't sleep last night at the hotel. I had major anxiety, weird dreams. My body was like shaking still from the drive. You know how like you just vibrate and it like doesn't stop as soon as you stop driving. You just like keep feeling that because I drove for like 10 hours. It was crazy. But you know, when you travel with dogs, it takes a lot longer. And I always take my time. Like I never really rush anything. So it's been crazy. The trip itself was insane, like insane. I never know what to expect, you know, when I go to LA, but now I'm starting to realize that there's a common theme that weaves around, you know, my trips to LA, and it was just crazy. Like something is definitely karmic was going on, and I was in the middle of all of it. And for some reason I had to be there. Right. And I always look at everything in that way. So it was stressful. It was like a stressful trip. I did get to do a lot of stuff that was relaxing and fun, but it was like on top of that was like this whole other thing going on that created this crazy energy. And of course, knowing myself and knowing how I respond and react to things, I gave myself a lot of space, strong boundaries. And even so, obviously, things affect you tremendously, especially when you have so many undefined centers. And so it's definitely a powerful moment of observing myself within like chaotic situations and observing everything else. And I'm sure that there's going to be more realizations that come out of that, but it was kind of intense. So it's kind of like one of those things where like you need a vacation from the vacation, you know? It was like that. Hello, Ariel. Welcome in. So good to see you in here as well. You're so tired in this energy. Yes, I've been tired. We've been collectively on an energy roller coaster for the last week or so. I agree. Cancer season be like, sit the fuck down. It was more like, it was more like watch very closely everything that's going on, because there's a revelation here that's happening, and it has to do with you observing yourself, observing others. And, every time I go to LA, I go to see family. So it's like, you just never know. So it was wild. I will be sharing, obviously, much more detail in the Moon Goddess training and in the Starseed membership, because that's where we get to really get a little more personal. So we do have some awesome events coming up. Hello, Lish. Welcome in. So if you want to be in on that conversation and what actually happened while I was in LA, then come join us in the membership or the Moon Goddess training. It's almost like I always feel like I come back and I hit the ground running. Got back today at like 12:30, unloaded the car, took a shower, washed my hair because that always feels really good. It's super hot too. It's like, okay, summer's definitely here. And then I passed the fuck out, and I woke up having this crazy dream that I have usually when I've been overwhelmed with emotion and lots of like things going on that are emotional in nature. And it's, of course, Cancer season, where I'm either in the ocean or like trying to stay afloat. And this time it was like a dream where I was getting swept away by like a current, a flash flood kind of a thing. And I'm like, oh my God, here we go. Now starts the process of like releasing and letting go, right? Like, okay, now you got to like start shedding everything that like went down emotionally, because it'll just get stuck to you if you don't like, clear it out. And that's basically the process that I am beginning right now. So it doesn't end just because it ends. And it's like, I know that I know all these things. So it just gets, it just gets old, like drama with your mama gets old. So it was exhausting. It was actually exhausting. I definitely was tested, very tested, but I definitely passed as well. So it was, I don't know why my Wi-Fi is doing that. It was, it's really jumping up and down. So hopefully you guys can still hear me, because we got a whole broadcast to move through. Let me check out some more comments. Lots of contemplating happening, says Lish. Yes. Totally agree. Observation on how I'm affected by everyone is heightened. Yeah. Oh, thank you, Raven. Yeah, I had planned to like meet up with like fellow goddesses and stuff. And it was like, no, that's not going to happen. I was just not in the right space, Yeah, it's weird. And I'm just getting the realizations of like, okay, well, this is kind of a theme. Every time I come here, this kind of always ends up this way. And I have to just rethink like, what's the future of this look like? What do I need for myself and stuff? There's the aftermath of like when you deal with karmic family stuff and you're like, damn, now I got to heal from, it is crazy. Ariel says, you're not glitching at all for me. Well, that's good. It's going in and out for me. So hopefully, yeah, molten snake skin energy. Hopefully this is good, good audio, at least for you guys. So, let's see. Before we dive into the astrology of this freaking full moon in Capricorn, I do want to make sure to invite you. Make sure you give the video a thumbs up. Please, everybody that's watching live now and the replay, please hit that like button. I really need everyone to do that from now on, if possible, because YouTube, the algorithm just doesn't work unless people like interact with the video. And also, make sure to subscribe to the channel, especially if you are new, and check if you're still subscribed, because sometimes it'll unsubscribe you automatically. I don't even know why it does that. Hello, Nacho Tree. Oh, it's Jeanette. Jeanette, that's hilarious. Okay, so you went inward for 2 weeks. I think I'm about, and the thing is that I don't want to go inward. I'm like, no, I want to have fun. I want to like do stuff. I don't feel like I need to like hermit right now. I just feel like I need to get back on track with work because I'm a little behind. And it's not cool when that happens. I've been enjoying myself for sure, but I've also been getting behind on some things. And it's like, okay, I really need to like catch up with like everything and get back on like track with all of it. So make sure to like, subscribe, download my free moon astrology guide. Oh, I started a new monthly newsletter. I'm sure you guys got it. Let me know in the comments what you thought of it. But I started a monthly human design / Gene Keys newsletter where I go over all of the transits of the sun, all of the gates that the sun will be transiting through for the entire season. And I always go by season. I never go by months. So when you watch my channel and when you do my Starseed membership, we go by the astrological seasons, which they start around the 2021, between 20 and 22nd of every month. So that's when our season starts. And we go through the year, through the seasons, because we're watching the sun transit our chart. And so that's how I organize it. It's confusing when you do like June or July, because then you're like half of this season and half of this season. And that just doesn't make sense astrologically. So we always go with the seasons. So the first newsletter is for Cancer season, which is kind of cool that it was the first one that we started with. But I talk about the gate that the sun is transiting and what that means. I talk about the gate that connects the channel and if you have it defined and what it means, if you what the channel is called, if you have it defined. And then I go into the gene keys, the shadow, gift, and city of each of the gene keys to share more insight into what are some of the themes that we're going to be working with. And you know what's so cool about that is that with that newsletter, we will watch the flow of the astrological wheel through the gene keys. And that it's a huge learning. I mean, I was like, dude, this is amazing because we're going to get to see the gene keys, like the order that they go in for the whole year. Like, and it's the same every year, but obviously there's different transits going on, but the sun does the same transit every year through the gene keys. And so and the gates. So we're going to get to watch that flow. And for me, I love systems. And this is a great way to learn the gates and to learn the gene keys and to learn why do they flow in this order and what order do they flow in? Like it goes from this one to this one to this one to this one astrologically. So I was like super excited for this. Yeah, so amazing, says Raven. And thank you guys. So helpful. Thank you. Will help me reach a goal of knowing. Yeah, exactly. Right. That's exactly what, yeah. Learning the gates. And this is the reason why I also offer so much, because it also does a lot for me. Like I learn a lot when I write things. It forces me to think about it, and that's how I learn. So really exciting. And you can follow along with your human design chart. I like made them so that that's how it works. And some of it is like in my words, and some of the words are obviously like from the authors of the book, mostly Richard Rudd. I use mostly Richard Rudd's work, even for the human design stuff. I just really love his language. So the resources that I use come from him. And so, yeah, it's really, really cool. So I'm excited about that. Make sure you download the free moon astrology guide. There's a link below in the description if you're not on the newsletter yet, and you'll get that monthly newsletter as well as the weekly moon magic report, which is like the horoscope for the week. So let's dive into this full moon in Capricorn. Here's the chart of the full moon. And as always, we can tell it's a full moon because the sun and the moon are exactly opposing each other. It's happening at 11 degrees and 18 minutes of Capricorn. And because of that, actually, this tells us right away that this is a Lyran stargate on the side of the moon. And on the side of the sun, it's a Sirius stargate. In fact, on the day of this full moon, Mercury is exactly on Sirius, the Sirius star, which is known as Goddess Isis, but it's also a powerful intuitive activation and magnification and enhanced intuitive sensibilities. So psychic powers get really heightened during this time. And the sun is too near the Sirius star, the actual Sirius star, but then also other markings that align with the Sirius energy. And this is ancient Egypt, goddess Isis, the story of Isis, Osiris, Nephthys, and Set kind of interweaved within that. This is the high priestess energy. The moon in Capricorn is not in its best position. It doesn't necessarily like to be here because it's like in detriment. However, we are on the Lyran stargates, and they bring in powerful, ancient, like crone-like wisdom. So it is actually a beautiful frequency when you just look at the stargate energy. But the moon is going to be opposing Mercury. It's also going to be making a trine to Jupiter. Jupiter is over here at 9 degrees. So there's a beautiful trine to Jupiter. That's always like really welcome energy and earth energy. So grounding energy. The sun will also be making a trine to Saturn, and then also Saturn is at 7 degrees. So all these they're slightly wide orbs, but they're definitely there. And this adds some seriousness because, but in a positive way, Saturn is the ruler of this moon, making a sextile to it and a trine, right? Sextiling and trining the opposition of the sun and the moon, bringing in like seriousness, but more along the lines of we may feel Saturn's help during this time in trying to plan, reach our goals, move towards the mountaintop. Like, what is it that you want to achieve? Saturn is always about achievement and getting to the goal, reaching the goal. So this is determination, positive determination and like motivation that comes in. We are going to be having a square from Mercury, a wide square from Mercury to Chiron, which adds uncomfortableness in terms of knowing that healing is here and it's being called upon us. And also at the same time, this actually means too that there's kind of a T-square to Chiron, actually, a little bit. And that's a challenge. You know, T-squares or squares are always they're challenging us to make a change, to figure things out. So this is about healing. Healing is definitely staring at us in the face during this time. And then we also have a not exact, but it's pretty close conjunction with Venus and Mars. That actually can be fun. But they are making a trine to Chiron and a square to Uranus, which is unpredictable, or at least it brings in uncomfortable and unpredictable energy that can feel like you don't know how to handle because it kind of comes out of nowhere. And that's kind of how I felt a little bit. And I'm not saying that this was going on, you know, this last week, but I've been feeling that way. Hello, Belinda. Welcome in. I've been feeling that way, that there's a lot going on that's coming out of like left field and you have to like just deal with it and like figure it out, you know, and then continue moving forward, even though there's more things that will be showing up that can feel uncomfortable and like throw us off. when we need to recoup, kind of a thing. Also, Saturn is the ruler of the moon, like I mentioned, but he is retrograde too. So there's a powerful reflective aspect, like a going inward aspect to this energy. Now, according to the ancient Atlanteans, Capricorn rules the crown chakra, which is our connection to our higher self, and the skeletal system, which is the foundation of our body. And it is knowing this foundation and understanding our foundation and like having that strong sense of knowing that we have a foundation that will be the most important thing for us during this time. But let's take a look at the Sabian symbol for this moon to add a little bit more symbolism to this energy. So according to the Sabian symbol of the moon, here's what we have. At a party, a rakishly dressed man is chatting up an attractive girl who belongs to a completely different crowd. The girl is not very encouraging, but he continues undeterred. This is about knowing what one wants and going after it, regardless of personal handicaps or early rebuffs. This is about focusing on the task at hand versus dithering indecisiveness. Potency of action versus ineffectuality. So everything leads to like, we're going for it. You know, this is about being strong and going for it and determined, proving something to others versus proving something to oneself. This could also be about sexual adventurousness, parties, hedonists, wiry physicality, knowing how to connect with people, understanding the psychology of the opposite sex, being gallant and well-mannered versus being barbaric and impulsive, right? Because Capricorn is controlled, right? It's like a controlled environment. On the make, unscrupulous gamesters in the war of the sexes. That's the weird statement. Morally self-justifying, encountering chaotic situations with aplomb, whatever that means. Thinking on one's feet, jumping on opportunities versus being blindsided by unpleasant surprises. So it's like being prepared, like finessing awkward social missteps, and then self-confidence. So this is actually good. I feel like we definitely need this sort of help from the universe to ride whatever wave is sort of we're moving through. Because remember, this is also Cancer season. It is a wave. We're moving through the wave. And if you don't know how to stay afloat or, successfully navigate, it's going to be really challenging. Don't you think it's interesting that that submarine thing happened, and we're at Cancer season? Super crazy. Here's the Sabian symbol for this moon. A beautiful, erotic, fat woman eating chocolates. Ooh, I love that. Obsession with images of what is desirable and undesirable. Oh. Polarization of the inward awareness between plus and minus. The extreme reliance upon external proof, external props, and external projection. Everything blown up to be so dramatic, so total, and so pressurized that what comes forth, those are crazy words, considering what has been freaking going on. Everything blown up to be so dramatic, so total, and so pressurized that what comes forth is the inversion of what is sought. Interesting. Placing yourself in predicaments and dilemmas which are impossible and gross. Whoa. Yet being stalwartly resistant. Excuse me. Woo. Stalwartly resistant to getting the message that when you persist in polarizing your world between the absolute ideal and the abysmal norm, you tear apart your world and your being. Whoa, that's kind of heavy. That's heavy. Let me read it again. Obsession with images of what is desirable and undesirable. Polarization of the inward awareness between plus and minus. The extreme reliance upon external proof, external props, and external projection. Everything blown up to be so dramatic, so total, and so pressurized that what comes forth is the inversion of what is sought, placing yourself in predicaments and dilemmas which are impossible and gross, yet being stalwartly resistant to getting the message that when you persist in polarizing your world between the absolute ideal and the abysmal norm, you tear apart your world and your being. Whoa. That message is intense. Oh my God. Yeah, it's crazy. So, what's the gene key of this moon? And this is where it gets I actually like this. I love this gene key. It's the 38th. I freaking love it. I'm not even kidding. I have this gene key very strongly. I think it's my Jupiter. So I have a strong energy of this this gene key. And this gene key moves. This is actually my pearl. Yeah, that's right. Because the pearl in the gene keys is Jupiter. And this is my pearl. Like the most powerful of all of them, right? When you get to the end of the gene keys journey. Yeah, right. When is the meditation session? Oh yeah, that's right. We want to do a meditation in the Moon Goddess cohort, which is for anyone that has graduated from the Moon Goddess training, levels 1, 2, or 3, or any of them, and wants to continue education with us and stay connected. And also the Moon Goddess training is transitioning level 1 and 2 to a self-study course. I'm working on it already. And I've got I got 3 modules ready for level 2, but I'm going to wait to put it all out there when they're all ready to go to be able to bundle them up and stuff. But yeah, we want to do a meditation in the cohort. So you got to be in there to do it with us, but we're definitely feeling like we need it for sure. But what is the 38th gene key? It's known as the warrior of the light. It moves from the shadow of struggle to the gift of perseverance to the city of honor. Dude, I fucking love this gene key. I swear to God. In the human design, to do a little preview, because on Sunday night, I'm going to be doing the human design reading. It's the 38th gate, which is from the root to the spleen. And it's the channel of struggle, the gate of the fighter. So let's read about this city of honor, which I recommend you read all of the chapter, but if we would sit here for a long time if I sat here reading the whole thing. So I just focus on the city to leave a positive note at the end of each of our moon astrology readings. So the 38th city, honor, greater love hath no man. Honor is a dynamic living energy field in itself. It is the city that dawns when the warrior archetype reaches its ultimate potential. Honor is the energy field of every single human being when they are living their individual truth. In this sense, honor is something of a paradox. Even though it seems to be the peak of human individuality, it also binds all human beings together at the level of the higher self. In the field of honor, all human beings become one. This is the true meaning of the highest warrior code. Honor turns combat into a dance. It is the swordplay of love itself. With honor, death is transcended, and any human action can become immortalized. Even the act of killing another can become honorable if it is performed from within the energy field of true honor. Wow. Ooh, I just got chills. In such extreme cases, the one who is killed must always give permission to the conqueror in order for the true contract of honor to unite them. What then constitutes an act of honor? Honor is rooted in a love so pure that it sacrifices itself without a thought to serve a higher aspiration. Every act of honor carries an equalizing force into the world rather than a divisive force. This is how you can tell whether it is true or not. If the act brings people together into the high frequency field, it is an act of honor. Honor always carries the frequency of mercy and surrender within it. Many appalling acts are committed in the name of honor. Only if they have the effect of uniting all people involved, and if they contain mercy, are they honorable. In this sense, the whole essence of honor is contained in the expression of honoring another. To honor someone is to hold them to their highest frequency, no matter what their current frequency may be. Thus, a person manifesting honor may be subjective to all manner of victimization at the hands of dishonorable people, but he or she will never sink to their level. On the contrary, he or she will continue to honor them and hold them in their highest regard. Wow. The city of honor carries a certain type of mythology within it. We need to remember the journey consciousness takes through this gene key, from struggle to perseverance to honor. The final accolade of honor represents a complete transcendence of all struggle, but at the same time, it still speaks the language of battle. This means that the 38th city retains a deep mythic connection to struggle, aggression, and all the darkest sides of human nature. People in whom this city manifests are the highest form of warrior. They become our holy warriors, those people who cannot be tarnished by the world and who surmount the most awesome of obstacles. The 38th gene key, as we have repeatedly seen, loves a fight. You know, I feel this. These people have raised the frequency of that fight to a dance. Oh, to sacred theater. And upon that stage, they play their role with utter surrender. When the citic state occurs within a human being, that being loses all sense of a separate self. In many ways, they are simply shells through which their genetics continue to function. You might call them empty, or more accurate, you might say they were filled with the essence of life itself or divinity. Every citic state carries such a powerful vibration that it either strikes fear in someone's heart or it inspires that one to greatness. Either way, honor always reveals a person's true nature. The 38th city is closely allied to the theme of death. Of course it is. Honor and death have always been closely associated. This is because the ultimate honor is to give your life for the sake of others. As Christ himself spoke, greater love hath no man than this, that a man lay down his life for his friends. In our ancestral past, this city has long been deeply associated with conflict and war. However, at the citic level, this association is symbolic rather than literal, for the 38th city fights to bring an end to all human conflict. At times, it may enter into human conflict and sacrifice itself to bring about an end. Nonetheless, in truth, this city, like all other cities, is based upon the utter respect for all sentient life. The ultimate fight, then, is the fight against fear. This has been symbolized forever by the forces of light fighting against the forces of darkness. As a true warrior of light, the 38th city does not fight the lower nature. Rather, it absorbs the forces of darkness deep inside itself through its actions, and in doing so, shines out with immense purity in the world. Whoa, this is my pearl sphere. Honor is not about winning or losing. In a sense, the role of honor is to make a mockery of the entire concept of winning and losing. More often than not, honor is embodied when a stronger force deliberately surrenders to a weaker force. In other words, the being of light surrenders itself into the powers of darkness. This reversal of the human norm tends to highlight the futility of all human conflict and often results in the weaker force being transformed or converted. Such is the paradoxical power of an act of true honor. It always turns surrender into victory. This surrender is symbolized by death itself, since any true surrender signifies death to the separate self. After death, the honorable act only grows more and more in power until it becomes mythic. One of the most obvious examples of this is the surrender of Christ on the cross. Whenever a city dawns in a human being, its programming partner is also activated simultaneously. Thus, with the 38th city, we also have the 39th city of liberation manifesting. This shows the true nature of honor, to unleash a chain reaction resulting in a stream of dynamic, liberating energy lasting for generations and generations. At the shadow level, we also saw how the 38th gene key is connected to the 28th gene key through our genetics. Thus, we can see the interlinking of the themes of honor and immortality, the 28th city. Every true act of honor endures forever. People never forget the truly great lives. And as their stories are told and retold down the ages, the Siddhic energy of the original being simply continues inspiring and liberating others. This is because the highest potential within every human being resonates to the field of honor. When we hear tales of a great act or a great life, whether it be contemporary or a myth from the past, it reminds us of who we truly are. Warriors fighting to overcome and dispel our personal and collective fears. Whoa, dude. You know, I just keep hearing like it's on. You know, for the collective, like it's on. Like somebody turned that switch on and it's like time to rise up and be the warrior of the light. I feel like we all came to be warriors of the light in our own unique and special way. And it doesn't mean you have to do some kind of crazy, grandiose act of self-surrender, you know, and death. But it means you have to be the warrior of the light. For you, for your family, and I'm not saying for your family as in like you should defend everyone and you know, honor your family. No, I don't mean that way. I just mean do the most honorable thing, even if that means like whatever it means, you know, maybe it doesn't feel right, doesn't feel positive, but it's the most honorable thing or whatever, you know. It's heavy for sure. Yeah, Lish says, damn. This energy is so like, when I hear this gene key and I know that it's a channel of struggle in human design, I mean, we're going to move from these frequencies, right? We're like during like this full moon brings up the shadow of struggle and it asks us to find the gift of perseverance and to step into the divine gift of honor. So it's like, yes, naturally we feel like we're struggling, you know? Naturally, we feel like we are having, you know, that split, and we can't give up though, right? Like that's the thing. It's like we can't give up. So it's quite a lot to think about. It's quite a lot to take in, and this is definitely Capricorn energy, which is never really easy energy. It is the epitome of like not giving up. So I think it's beautiful. I think it's powerful. I think it gives us an opportunity to really truly step into, like he says here, like who we truly are. We're warriors of the light. So that's that. Yeah. Interesting timing. Yeah. It's I love this gene key. Kingdom Unity says this registers with my entire being. Me too. Tim says 38.2 is his south node in his chart. So yeah, you got it. In the place of karma. Perseverance has been a key word for the last 6 months. Year of the rabbit. Oh yeah. Yeah. We are moving from the shadow of struggle. Like we're going to be tested. That's what this says about this moon, is that it'll test. We'll go through the struggle. Like we're struggling, and that's okay. And it doesn't mean that like something's wrong. It just means that it's like challenging us to like persevere. And not as in like, I'm going to win no matter what. Not like that. It's persevering with honor. Right? It's like there's a higher frequency to the perseverance. It's not I'm going to win no matter what. I'm going to persevere with honor. So it's super, super powerful. Yes, needed the reminder. Exactly. So thank you guys all for being here and watching this video. Please share it out on social media. Get the word out. Make sure you give the video a thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe. Check us out in our global community. We are having live events all the time. We have yoga. I host all of my courses and memberships on there. We are having our full moon ceremony celebration on Monday night, and it's always a party and it's always fun. So I hope to see you guys there. Though all of those things are free. So you're missing out. Just come hang out with us over there. And like I said, I released a new human design newsletter. So I'm promoting the Your Human Design map reading that I offer, which is a PDF that I write out for you, and you can use it to follow along with the human design newsletter every month. So, and if you missed it, get on the email list. And if you missed it, let me know. I'll forward it to you so you can follow along for the month of Cancer. But just let me know because I'll have to forward it to you. I can't resend it, but I can definitely like do that, forward it for you. So excited about this full moon. Here we go. Full moon train now this weekend. The moon's going to be getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. Ariel says the moon goddess training is a gold mine. Yeah, it is. It is. And yes, happy to see you too, Tim. And see you guys on Sunday for our human design transit reading for this moon. We'll talk about this whole thing that we talked about, except from the lens of human design. And can't wait to do that. So thank you all for supporting this channel and this community. And I will see you all again on Sunday evening. Sat Nam.